but the Magic went into half-time with a great little bit of momentum.
They certainly did, and I'll dob Sherelle in. She just said to me before that 7 goals isn't a lot to make up, but Magic have to play with that level of confidence they showed at the end of the first quarter. They started to let the ball go, even when it was long and risky.
Little fumble there from Bell, but Gerard was able to pick it up. Bomberto, who just doesn't fumble ever. That pass hung in the air a little bit, gave Langman a look at it.
And just a little bit of a feeling towards the end of that last, the second quarter and the start here, that the Magic have really stepped up their defensive pressure. They've been doing a lot of work on that tight one-on-one style of defence, trying to put that pressure on, and they're putting the Thunderbirds under a bit of stress getting the ball in.
And Shuttleworth was right across the half-time action. What have you got to report, Ian?
Well, the word coming from the Thunderbirds camp is they're playing too safe still. They reckon there is still room for improvement. They need to be more aggressive with their leads, go for the longer drive more often. They're saying they're just being a bit too safe, but one of the main talking points was their fitness level, and they say they can run this game out, and they want to make sure the Magic know they've been here and played against the Thunderbirds. They say the fresh legs they've got are there, and they've also got the fitness in the bank. Sue, for you.
Good on you, Shuts. Well, the Magic was a little quiet. I just wondered whether they were sitting back just waiting or what was happening. But the main thing they spoke about was the slow transition of the ball. I think Lizzie, you talked a little bit about it before when Casey Williams gets a turnover, and we can see it here. They want to get this ball moving down the court far quicker. The Thunderbirds obviously working overtime to hold it up. There's a prime example. They want to get the ball down and expose Van Dijk at the post much quicker than what they're currently doing.
Thanks, Sue. This is where they've had issues working through the mid-court. And on this occasion, they get it to Salea, but again, they have to go backwards and sideways more than they probably would like to.
Yeah, they certainly do, and I was just watching Salea then. Sherelle pointed out earlier, and she's still doing it, just going on that really long run. Yet she's got the speed to be able to change direction and just force the defender to do a little more work. Shani Layton's doing wonderfully well to match her for foot speed at the moment.
Clean take from Salea, again having to go back to Brown. You see Irene and Mentor there just jostling for position.
A bit of a jostle earlier. Irene did a little dodge along the baseline and threw in a hip and shoulder to boot, and I think the Magic are going to need a little bit more of that from her. She has to be nice and strong. She's allowing herself to being pushed around by Mentor at the moment, and Mentor's getting under her skin a little.
See there the double team, left Brown on her own on the baseline. She's been prepared to shoot from long range, and that's probably not the high percentage way to play, Sherelle.
Oh, well, it's not. Of course, we always want it close under the post. I guess you assume with Irene under there, you've got a chance of getting the rebound, but I'd still like to see her keep putting those shots up for sure.
There's a funny little bit of play then between Williams and Borrego. You asked me before, Luke, about who was winning that matchup. I think Williams is just starting to get a confidence up, and that's dangerous for the Thunderbirds. Borrego must stay in this game for them to win.
Quicker movement down court on this occasion for the Magic. Just threw herself at the ball.
What Gerard and Mentor are just so good at, probably the best in the league, is just protecting that sort of metre space around the post. And you see how hard it is for Magic to find themselves in that really close shooting position that they'd like. So they're forced into taking longer balls or passing the ball around a lot more than they're used to.
Well, the final 3 minutes of the second half and the first 3 of the second half have been good for the Magic. They've scored 7 of the last 8 goals. It was out to an 11-goal margin. We're back to 5. The crowd just getting a little restless here.
Massive goal
gets a settling goal.
Yeah, huge thing. You just felt it in the air, didn't you, here in the atmosphere? Everyone was just sort of holding their breath. Thunderbirds needed that to start, or for the start of this quarter.
Van Dijk just put her head down and said, how am I supposed to get anywhere near that? Didn't bother even contesting it.
It's actually a really low release from Langman, which is unusual for her. If you're going to throw that ball with any sort of accuracy, you've got to get your release a little bit higher.
Yeah, we've spoken a little bit about Salea and the amount of penetration the Magic are able to get. Langman then had the ball still in the centre third, and she had Salea right beside her, which is not where you need her. You need her down there taking some drives, trying to draw some of that defensive pressure off Irene.
Speaking of defensive pressure, Williams was all over the shot there. Starting to come into her own.
Yeah, if Magic win this game, they can thank Casey Williams. She's done so much work. You know, last week it was Van Dijk that was the star of the show for them, and Williams is doing the job now. But she's being matched by Jiva Mentor at the other end, who's having a brilliant game.
Big call, goal won't count. And you can see the right smile on Jodie Brown's face. We're going to go to Jane Woodlands-Thompson, coach of the Thunderbirds. One went your way on that occasion.
Yeah, it's, I think the count's against us at the moment this quarter, but it's all happening out there, isn't it?
And Jane, just in the last couple of minutes of that second quarter, Magic made a little bit of a run at you. What are the things you spoke to the girls about stopping that, holding that up?
Yeah, it was after the timeout. I think they went on a 4-0 run, which was not great on our behalf. I think we just took the intensity off the defensive work, and we're not doing our long drives. We're doing the safety leads, which is not going to get us the game. So we're aware of that, and they're the adjustments, and to use some fresh legs that we should have.
Thanks, Jane. You get back into the second half here, and I'm really keen to see this run of momentum arrested by her side as the Thunderbirds have been outscored 7-9 in the last part of this game. Possession here with Casey Williams. Puts up her hand with the one finger. Sherelle, what does that mean?
I haven't read their playbook, actually, so I'm not 100% sure.
Is there some sort of change in the way they want to go about it, though? Someone, obviously, she's back behind play here and saying, number one, we want to do something a little differently. Sometimes
it can mean that, or sometimes you can simply be saying just one more. And that's when you're behind, that's what you focus on. You don't focus on a 5-goal or a 6-goal gap. You really do focus on just getting one back at a time. And Magic are doing that well at the moment.
And this crowd, the whole crowd getting into this, including the Magic bench guys who have got their pom-poms and are cheering the girls along with every ounce of excitement that they can muster. There they are there.
Just a bit. I've seen too many interchange players come with pom-poms before.
Don't tell me it doesn't happen in the AFL.
Oh, beautiful play there. Nat Bomberto, amazing amount of balance. Here we see her tiptoeing almost on the baseline. Great connection again with Borrego, just able to balance on that baseline and finished off beautifully.
Certainly did, as Langman throws a little fake. Then has to go back into the mid-court. Clark uses Salia.
What I really like about this Thunderbirds line is that they're all in defensive mode when they don't have the ball. So often you see a wing attack or a goal attack maybe be prepared just to float back to the advantage line, but they're both up defending, and that's why these turnovers are coming. Jiva Mentor doing a brilliant job there, just getting her hands to the ball.
And Irene looking at the umpire saying, you sure you want to call that against me, or do you want to give it to me? Not convinced that she had infringed at all. Another big play for Mentor.
Well, at the end of the day, the player behind, or the player in front generally gets the call, and that was a defensive player in that particular instance.
Bell steps up to the plate, and she has gone really well from a nervous start